What's up, guys? It's Glitched, back at it again with the Dark Cloud memes. This is going to be an any % glitchless boss tutorial. A lot of times I watch people new to the speedrun attempt these bosses and they just have no idea whatsoever what strategies to use or what they should be doing on these fights. So to make this more accessible for everybody and to make it to where you don't have to like search through a 6-hour, 7-hour VOD just to see the bosses, I'm just gonna have a small tutorial here for every boss fight in the game. We're going to start with Dran and end with Dark Genie, the usual stuff, so we may as well just get started. Okay, we're gonna start with Dran. First boss, relatively easy, but he can be kind of tricky with the strategy that we use. I like to make sure I have bombs equipped to throw at him in case he tries to get away. My revival powder in case any memes happen and I end up dying somehow. And you have to have a weapon with ice equipped and activated because Dran is weak to ice. And any leftover attack attachments that you have, you'll always have some sort of attack attachment at this point. So if you don't have a gem like I do that gives attack, you just put your attack +2 or something on. Doesn't matter. Just try to have ice active and as many extra attack attachments as you can just to do more damage. So at the start of the fight, you want to switch to Joe because you have to knock Dran out of the air to make him land so you can actually defeat him with Tone. Joe does not do any damage. I think she does like 1 to 2 damage maximum on Dran. The fight is just programmed that way no matter what slingshot you have. So you just have to knock him out of the air. So usually he starts by moving to the right a little bit. I lock on and wait till he faces me. If he moves like this or shoots a fireball, it doesn't matter. Just knock him out of the air. And then you switch to Tone. And if you have a stamina drink, this is when you would consume it right away. But for the sake of, you know, worst case scenario, I'm just going to show what it's like when you don't have that. So what I'm going to do here is once Dran fully lands, I'm going to slash. By pressing and holding X, I'm going to slash and charge my charge attack at the same time. Once you do that, Dran will turn around, so you want to take a couple steps back and avoid that turnaround hitting you and let go of your jump slash. I'll show you what it's like. Take a couple steps back, let go, slash, take a couple steps back, let go. Sometimes it misses, and that's when you throw your bomb, and it keeps him on the ground, you see. So you want to make sure that your weapon does not break here. If it does, your gems and anything valuable that you have is gone. So sometimes, yeah, he gets away like that. It happens. But in case he does, just knock him out of the air again, rinse and repeat. Slash, back up, let go. Slash, back up, let go. And you just rinse and repeat. If you miss the initial slash, it's fine, because you can still defeat him as long as you get the jump slash off to prevent him from flying away. But yeah, that's the Dran fight. Kind of tricky because of the whole loop that we have to do, but it's not too bad once you get it down. Alright, now for Master Utan, this is probably one of the easiest fights in the run. You're basically just going to throw bombs at him and loop him. So before you get to this point, you're going to buy 35 bombs for a beginner. Someone who's good at this strategy can get by with only 30, but I always suggest beginners get 35 because beginners kind of mash a little too fast in this fight for the strategy to work properly. You'll see what I mean in a second here, but fight's gonna start off with Fairy King telling you, oh yeah, you gotta fight Utan, whatever, he's being crazy. So, alright, you want to pretty much run immediately up to Utan right away. He's gonna back up like that, and he's gonna run up to you and try to swing on you. So once he does this, once you're like completely aligned up with Utan, you just switch to your bombs and throw. And you just want to press square. Every time you see that 24 and hear that sound effect, you press square. You can mash, but mashing will make it to where some of your bombs actually do not do damage. It's this weird thing with Utan's invincibility frames. So you want to throw bombs until you only have 1 bomb left. You don't want to throw all of your bombs, because if you have 1 bomb left, you can stock up really quickly like this by pressing triangle. So you stock back up with 9, and then just get back to throwing. So you just keep throwing. Every time you hear that sound effect in C24, press square. Got one bomb left, now I restock. And it's a perfect loop. He should never be able to hit you as long as you're doing this properly. And that's the fight. Super easy. Alright, here is the fight that everyone dreads casually. Ice Queen LaSaia. We kind of make a joke out of her in the speedrun, so if you want to impress your fellow Dark Cloud gamers and look like a Chad, just show them how to do this fight with speedrun strats. It's not that difficult, but it can also be somewhat tricky, kind of like how Dran is easy, but there's little things you have to look out for. So yeah, this fight isn't as bad as it is casually at all. It's actually pretty decent. So at the start of the fight, there's going to be this very long load screen. I usually just mash triangle through it because I need to open my inventory immediately to make sure I have everything in place. So I'm mashing triangle right now through this load. And okay, so you want to make sure you have bombs equipped, of course, as usual. You want to make sure Ruby has her weapon equipped with fire. So you want to switch to fire. Obviously, Saya is weak to fire. She's the Ice Queen. Any extra attack or magic attachments you can equip to make sure that she does more damage. I'm just going to put attack. It's basically the same stat for Ruby and Ruby only. I actually have a Garnet. Yeah, I'll just put this on. Okay, so yeah, any extra attack or magic attachments, put them on. Make sure fire is equipped. And at the very start of the fight, you want to run up to Saya and throw a bomb to break her shield. Just like that. And you wait a second, because Saya will usually freeze you immediately when you do that. So when she freezes you, that's when you swap to Ruby and drink your stamina drink. And you're gonna walk up to Saya. You're gonna wait for her to do her retaliation attack. She kind of does an AoE like Ice Blast, and you want to kind of be out of range of that. But once it's finished, you want to walk up to Saya, attack once, walk forward one step, attack once, and repeat. You can literally loop her as well. So she doesn't do her retaliation here, so I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Attack, take one step, attack, and you just keep repeating until she's dead. Super easy, honestly, once you get the hang of it. A far cry from the wrath that she gives us in casual playthroughs. Hope you gamers bought tickets because the clown's in town. This is by far the easiest boss fight in the entire game, King's Curse. The game tries to make him look super scary and menacing, but he is a complete joke, even more so than any of the bosses you've seen up to this point. So at the start of this fight, you're going to want to stand completely still. Do not make the mistake of moving at all. I've seen people like run straight towards him and charge into him, and the whole fight is ruined. All you have to do is stand completely still and immediately switch to Ungaga. Press and hold X. That should reveal the actual coffin. So once that's revealed, you want to make sure that your attack synth sphere is actually equipped onto Zhao. This should be a hammer. This is just a practice save, so we took whatever we could get here, but you want to make sure your attack synth is equipped, and you want to make sure Holy is active. Once you have that in place, you want to drink a stamina drink with Zhao, if you have one. If you don't have one, you basically do the same thing twice. It's just 2 cycles instead of 1. But switch to Zhao, walk up as far as you can, and while holding forward, just smash X, and the fight is over immediately. It is so easy, and then he just falls down and explodes, because he is complete garbage. As my homie Mason Elliowood would say, King's Curse knew he would get bodied so hard that he brought his own coffin. Now we have arguably the most difficult boss in the run. This is Minotaur Joe. He's mostly difficult because you have to manipulate his AI to stay in a loop. a common trend you'll see with all the bosses in this game is that you can loop pretty much all of them to death in some way. This loop, though, is a little bit more difficult than the ones prior. You have to pretty much make him run into this gate behind you. You have to make him infinitely run into the gate. And it's kind of tricky to do that, but I'll show you how real quick. So at the start of the fight, Joe's going to roar. I usually wait for him to roar, just like that. And you want to use Ungaga for this fight, because most of the time we're going to skip the Sun Sword. It's faster to skip the Sun Sword. So whatever attack sense sphere that you have, make sure that is on Ungaga, as well as anything that gives Thunder, because Joe is weak to Thunder. So I'm going to use the Fighting Stick just to demonstrate, once again, the worst case scenario here. So attack synth maxes out your attack. Equip your Thunder attachment of whatever kind. It can be this one, gem, whatever. So you wait for him to roar, switch to Ungaga, and he should move forward like that. You want to bait out an attack and run behind him and hit him. Make sure Ungaga is facing this gate right here whenever you attack. So whenever you attack and Ungaga faces this gate, this should make Joe run into the gate infinitely. He'll run to the left and right infinitely. So at this point is when you drink your stamina drink. You should have one because you get one for free. So you drink your drink, you just walk up, attack him in the back, make sure you're facing the gate, and rinse and repeat. Sometimes the hitbox can be a little weird and it doesn't register, but it's pretty consistent. As long as you can get him in this corner and continue facing the gate directly head on like I am, you can loop him until death as well. Sometimes he can break out, and if he breaks out, you want to try your absolute best to get him back into this corner. He runs in the direction opposite that you're facing. So if you're facing this gate, he'll run away from you towards the gate. So if your stamina runs out, drink another one if you have it. If not, just continue until he's defeated. I usually follow him back and forth like this, because yeah, sometimes he'll get out just like this, and you want to try to make him run back in that direction. And yeah, sometimes he gets away. If he does, you just gotta try your best to salvage it. There you go. So he's back, and that's the fight. It's really hard to keep it consistently looped all the way until the end, because it's just sometimes your positioning gets messed up and he will break out. But if he breaks out, you still can defeat him without getting hit and without the fight going crazy. But that's technically the most difficult fight in the game. Some people may say Dark Genie is a little harder, but to me, Dark Genie's easy, just a lot more tedious. So we're going to move on to Genie now, the final fight. Alright, so we're on the final fight now, Dark Genie. This fight is not that bad, but you can make some mistakes that can cost you a fair amount of time. Like missing shots, because you're going to be using Zhao to take out this entire boss fight. His hand phase, the forehead eye, and the final phase as well. So we're going to start with the first phase here. He always starts with red and blue, fire and ice arms, always. So right here, I mash circle to center my camera, just like that. And it looks like he's going to be using the ice hand first, so I switch to Zhao, instantly open my menu. I want to eat my stamina drink and make sure I have the attribute equipped for the hand that he's using at all times. So we're going to have to do a lot of menuing during this fight. I hold down, I hold away from the hand, and once the hand pops up, I hold forward and shoot. Just like that. So now he's switching to fire. You switch to fire as well. Ice. You can miss like that and it can cost you. Now he's switching hands. If you let go of the shot or start the shot too early, you will miss. You can kind of hold X and aim towards him with the analog stick if you started a little bit early, but you want to try not to miss the best you can. The closer you are, the more damage you do. So now he has Thunder and Holy. Alright, using Thunder. This controller's a little sus. Still sticking to Thunder. Holy. Alright, re-equip your stamina once you run out as well. Sticking to Holy. Try not to preemptively open your menu like I do there. You want to try to react, because every time you open your menu, you waste time. If he uses that wind attack just like that, I usually switch into a different character to save my stamina if I'm low on stamina drinks. And then I switch back. So I don't know exactly what color he has there. It's red. Let's see if I can catch it real quick. Nice. Alright, that's one hand. When the hand disappears like that is whenever it will be completely taken out. So now Thunder, I think this was. Yep. Alright, so that's both hands. Once both hands are down, you want to switch to your Holy attribute and run up as close to him as you possibly can and get a shot off. Once you get a shot off, you can loop this phase until he's onto his last phase. So get a shot off, he should wind attack, knock you over, and you just repeat. You will take a lot of damage here, so you have to be prepared for this. Always refresh your stamina. And usually, instead of bombs here, I'll have like premium chicken or some sort of healing item equipped so that I don't die, because if you die and you have to use your revival powders, your stamina will be taken with you. So you want to try to preserve your stamina the best you can. If you miss or spend too long waiting to shoot him, he will get that laser off. But you can completely loop him to where he doesn't shoot that laser at all. You just got to be quick about it. Him using the laser wastes a bit of time. But you can shoot from where you're standing when you get up from this attack just to loop him again. Just like that. And you just rinse and repeat until he's done. If you're late, like I said, you will miss. He will get a laser off. You just want to get out of the way of that. Take your stamina and just keep going. That's that. So now we're on the final phase. The final phase is a lot easier and less annoying than the other two phases. He's going to turn into this gigantic bug-looking creature. And he's going to start off the fight either doing a laser to resurrect both of these skeleton warrior things, or he'll start off with a projectile just like that. That projectile will always come towards directly where you were standing when it was activated. So since I'm standing in this spot, the projectiles will only go to this direction that I'm standing right now. So what you usually do is you run the opposite direction and you run around it and just switch to Zhao, use your stamina, and shoot him in the mouth. So I run around, shoot him, wait for the projectile, comes towards me, run around. Sometimes he'll shoot these lasers and it will revive his little minions right here. But I like to stand on the edge here because I can easily move around that way. The middle is kind of annoying because you got to dodge all these guys. And sometimes you can get taken out like that. You will get one-shotted. So if you still have any stamina, make sure you're always using it, of course. I'm so not used to emulator input delay. But yeah, you just keep running around. Shoot, run around. And when you actually defeat him, he won't make a noise anymore. Just like that. And that's it. That's every boss fight in this game. Almost all of them are very easy. They just require a little bit of practice just to make sure that you have them down to where you don't mess up. I'm playing this on emulator for the recording quality, so even I mess up sometimes. But input delay, if you're running this game on emulator, will mess you up a lot more than if you're running on console. So be aware of that and just try to do your best through the input delay. But yeah, that is every boss fight in this game. I'll have a link to the speedrunning Discord in the description in case you have any questions about any of these fights or anything else regarding the speedrun. I will be in there, and I'm pretty much active all the time. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful gamer day, gamer.